Hans.
Okay,
Hello.
gotta go in the other room.
Come on. You gotta come here.
More people are coming, so we might wait a couple minutes before we start officially, and that's good. Um, we'll have parts of the meeting where we could talk and discuss, but I have I want to make sure I get through everything to cover all the topics of this meeting. So I'm trying to keep it condensed at the top. I have prepared a couple of things to play. The issue is, for some reason, when we play the actual recordings, the sound is fine coming through the speakers, but the pictures are slower than it sounds. As Francois says, it sounds bizarre or looks bizarre. So you put the order in the order that we're going to listen to right in the chat, Hans?
Yep, there. If you go to the chat, you'll see YouTube video links, and
Yeah.
then there's the name of each, and then there's a link after. Hopefully, everybody can see that in the chat.
So this is a last minute punt issue, technical thing. I don't know why it's doing that. It hasn't. I've never had this problem before, but we'll start the thing with the first link, and we'll just, if you would like to grab the link in the chat, and then at the same time we'll just say play that video, and then you can not have to deal with the sound not lining up with the picture, which will be fine. And then of course when we'll put, that's Leon. Hi Naomi. Hi Galen. Hey Marcos. Hi Jessica.
I cannot see everybody.
You
Wow.
can't see everybody.
No.
They're all there.
Yes, but I see just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 5.
Oh, I
And
see everyone that's got their camera turned on, and some of them don't because it might be too early or too late at night, and maybe they don't want you to see. Okay, well, I'll be admitting more people. Welcome to the actual, officially first Friends of Kansas City Bass meeting. Part of it is a little bit of a holiday party too. It's just so great to see everybody's face, especially at the end of the calendar year. It's kind of nice. Hopefully, this will be a big thank you card to all of you for all of what you've done for the workshop, Kansas City Bass. And of course, it goes back to George's workshop. So at first, we are going to start with Lloyd has prepared a special performance for this. I asked him if he would do that and start the performance. So we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. I'll say this again just for the people that are just getting here. Hans will share it, but there's a link in the comments section. If the sound and the video seem to not be lining up, so if you don't want that to be a problem, then just copy and we'll say we're going to listen to it. If not, you got to kind of listen to the bizarre. So anyway, Hans, can you play?
Sure. So close your eyes and enjoy Lloyd.
Yeah.
Auntie.
Bravo! Bravo!
It's almost at the middle. It will become better.
Yeah. So the technical aspects of it is out of my hands, and we should be able to. You can. We'll. You have the links in the chat, and you can watch the video separately. And of course, I'm recording this meeting to send to anyone that can't make it, and then I can drop the video back in. I can edit it later, which would be good. So I wanted to start with Lloyd because Lloyd and me ourselves, to me, are two people that really going to the workshop, in our case, George's workshop, changed our lives. Like it changed what we were doing. Lloyd was a orchestra bass player, and then he met Francois, and it changed what he wanted to do with his life. Because you can read about Lloyd, but everybody should know that we found it. And of course, for me, I was going to do something else, but I decided to teach young bass players and do what George did. And so you're going to hear a lot about Francois in the meeting. Of course, many of you actually know that about him already, but the things that went on in that first week of the workshop was life-changing because of what Francois was talking about wasn't just about his technique or his music. And so I'd like to welcome Francois, a lifetime member of Kansas City Bass, but more importantly, he's the one that started it with George. And the work that they did together, there was a class at the end of the week called The Philosophy of Rabath, and it's a life-changing moment. I should say to Francois, you don't have to go into your philosophy, but we just want to say hello to you, and also Merry Bassmas, and you to talk to everybody for a little bit here at the beginning.
It's a happiness to be with you. if I do something and it's happened, it help the bass player, I would be very happy. Voila, that's what I can say. Just continue this kind of workshop because it helped a lot of bass player, young bass player, and I am proud to be part of that. Voila. So,
Yes. Okay. And saying that, we will have time to discuss things, but I've prepared a small movie. It's basically kind of my thank you card to everyone, but also what we're going to do in the future. I didn't get the whole movie done the way that I wanted to, but I think it really helps. And of course, later we'll have that to display for people in the future. Anyway, there's again another link in the comment section if you don't want to, the picture and the sound is not moving together. So if you don't want that to be a problem, just do that. And I also would say, can we all have everybody mute their own personal mics right now through the thing so we don't get Leon screaming. Okay. Hans?
I want to say for the future, for all the musicians, not just the bass player, love the rest of the people. Don't stay alone. Don't be jealous. You must know that you are unique. To reach this point, I spent 75 years. You can be virtuoso when you are young. I was when I was young, but my understanding of each note was not like that. To form the note, but all that it's to communicate with the public. If you interpret something just for you, stay home. Because if you don't have the reaction of the public to say, I understand what you do, or I share with you your love, how you can share a love in showing your ambition, your ability? No, you cannot share the love with that. You share a love in doing a music, in using your ability to do the music. You can share that with the public in transmitting your love. If not, it's impossible. So it took me time, but I am so happy to say it. To say, because if I knew that young, it will help me to grow up more. So I say that now for the other, to permit them to grow up in this view.
Hi, my name is Danae. I've been attending KCBASS Workshop for 8 years, and I love it there because it has gotten to open up so many opportunities for music, and it has grown my love of music in so many ways. I've met so many friends there. I've gotten to study under wonderful people, and I've gotten to go to France through the bass.
Hello, I'm Daryl Hunter. I've been with KCBASS since about 2008. I tell my teacher, Johnny, that I am never going to graduate. I'm going to keep doing this for as long as, because I love KCBASS.
Carolyn Thurlby started playing bass when she was 8. But she's not spending her week at a music camp. This is much more.
She's here getting to play with kids who are in college, kids who are, much older than her. She's getting to play for some of the wonderful bass professors from all over the country and the world, and she's 10 years old.
This is the Kansas City Bass Workshop. 70 bass players. From the very young to the very experienced and professional.
Hi, I'm Lene. I'm a parent volunteer at Kansas City Bass Workshop. We've been involved in the workshop for about 8 years. It's made an amazing difference in my daughter's life. One thing that I realized when Danae started taking lessons is this is something she loves to do. I've never had to force her to practice. I've never had to say go practice. She does it on her own. So thank you, Johnny. It's been a great experience.
Hi, my name is Marina Russler. I'm a recipient of this faculty scholarship. I'd like to thank the sponsors of KCBASS Workshop, Bass Fest.
I would like to thank the sponsors.
I would like to thank the sponsors.
I would like to thank all the sponsors.
I'd like to thank the sponsors for getting me here.
I am super grateful for being able to come, so thank you.
Thank you so much for sending me here.
My name is Nate Cruz. I'm in college studying music education, and scholarship is the only reason that I'm able to, attend the bass workshop. I've attended for the past few years, and it's life-changing. It's inspirational. It's the best time of my summer. I look forward to it every year, and it really helps me grow. And I just want to thank every sponsor for the money that you give, because you really are allowing me to meet all these wonderful people and grow as a person. Thank you.
Anna Cook is an all-star. Kids they just gravitate to her. They appreciate her praise. They appreciate her high standards.
She's the best teacher I've ever had, honestly. I love coming to class every day and working with her.
She's constantly getting better and constantly working on that craft, and then that translates to what she's able to do in the classroom.
Ready, and...
right, so that's the end. That one will be very good because then we can. Oh, sorry. I need to.
C'est fantastique.
So I'll take the spotlight. Sorry for a little bit because I'm going to talk for a little bit and then have a couple other things to play. So it's kind of was really nice for me to make that movie. One is because I really thought about what we've been doing for the last 15 years. As Martha put in her note, 20 years before that with Francois and George, and that's where I found it. I'm honored to get said that I picked up the mantle, but really it was just something that needed to be done, and I hope that the work that I have for the next 10, 15 years, 20, I don't know, maybe I'll be like Francois and the next, I'll be 93 still doing this. I'm not stopping anytime soon, but I am thinking about this meeting is more about the idea of what I can do to make it run long after I'm gone and keep getting bigger and more outreach. And one of the things that I truly think in my discussions with Francois, Hans, Lloyd, and George and Martha is how do we get people to be like me in every major city so that way we would have a workshop like this in every city. Because one of the reasons why I was talking to George about it was I was saying, I can't get all of my parents to drive to DC every year, and the travel, it becomes hard. And if you have a young bass teacher with a studio, we have in Kansas City now, we have a number of great young bass teachers out there that have just as big a studio as mine, and it needs that, and it's so it's really exciting. So the first thing is we have every year something called Bassmas, which is now a larger concert than it used to be. It used to be just my students getting together, playing George Vance holiday ensemble music. And then now it's a citywide, all the professionals come, the students come. It's almost as big as the workshop, which you just saw a video of everybody playing there. It's really fun. It's kind of open. We're just sight reading Christmas songs, which is really great. But then the professionals will get up and do one of their own, which is always staggering and amazing. You guys are all invited to that, both online or in person if you're here. But we also, along with that, we run our auction, and it's how we raise money for mainly the scholarship fund. As I put in the thing, that last year we gave out $900, and that's a large chunk of money. And so we usually try to raise that through the auction. The auction link is on our website, and it goes across the world. Anybody can bid on them. There are many things like private lessons with Francois, Hans, Lloyd, and Marcos, and the list is pretty staggering, and it's pretty great. And somebody can just bid on it and get that. I think that what I'm somewhat asking everybody here is just to think about how much we need help in just having people know about the fact that we are a 501(c), and it's a good worthy cause, which is pretty much what that movie I just put together was for, so that people can say, hey, why should I just want to get a bass or a box of chocolates, but it would be better to do it through the auction.
Let me say something.
Sure.
I was saying always, I wish to be millionaire, to give everybody a base, magnific base, and the bow and sponsor and everything. But I think, Johnny, you must trust the people. I think you don't need to be worried about that. They will do they will do everything, and you will have what you need. That I am sure of that.
I am sure of that as well, and I don't want this meeting to sound like a commercial. I'm just making sure that everybody knows.
I know it's for the best player. It's for the future. It's for the kids. I think that the people will love to help us.
Yeah,
I am sure.
I think so too. And I know once people come and experience the workshop and or see everything that happens, it's easy for them to understand it. We still are bass players, so for every one bass player, there's 10 cellists or 10 violinists. So when I say I ask for your help, just the idea of sharing it on social media, share that movie, whatever will help in that regard. It's very important to just understand that. I am taking further steps to make sure that I've been working. So we are a 501(c), which is a very powerful device, which means that we're a tax nonprofit. So we're doing this for the betterment of our world, or in my case, Kansas City mainly, and the kids, which that movie was had a lot of reasons why people should play the bass more than other instruments, but also just that idea that we're part of a bass family and how powerful that is. So I'm applying for grants, which means that it's a lot of work, much like Francois gets me a little bit mad at me when I say I haven't been able to practice because I've been just typing away at all this other stuff. But I knew that when I started the workshop that I had to do other things to make a bigger thing. So the real thing about the grants that I want to put in this meeting, just so, again, that idea, the last thing is, I'm not asking for all of you to just open up your checkbooks. It's not that. It's more about sharing the information with others, because there's somebody out there that really would love to understand that our needs, and they would love to make the donation, as Francois just said. But there's also the grant thing. There's something that we've been receiving larger donations in the past for something called required minimum distributions through some people's funds when they hit a certain age. That's a really powerful device, because they need to find a place to donate for that. And so I have to say that in this meeting, that if anybody's out there that knows of those people that would love to do that, then that would be wonderful. Okay, so then I'm doing plans for the future, and I think this is really important because, as I said, the funds that I'm going to get will continue with the workshop as it's been in the past. I don't see any of that to be a problem, even if I'm physically unable to do it. I don't ever see it stopping unless, because it's now a big enough fund and organized enough that somebody else could take over if I couldn't do it, very easily, actually. And that's really important, because then that person, we can make sure that that person is in place that would carry on Francois and George's message. I think that's really helpful. One of the things I'm thinking of doing, or have been doing, sorry, is two things. We've been making these videos the last 2 years for the excerpts and jazz excerpts for the district and state auditions for kids. One of the things that is tricky with, and me and George talked a lot about this when we were discussing it, and I've talked to Hans and Francois about this, is sometimes I get the kids that they can play all the concertos, all the Francois stuff, but then I say, well, have you ever just joined an orchestra or played in a band where you're playing the bass line? And they haven't, because they're too young, you know, like, and their experience is not there. So what I love about George's books is obviously the Mahler, because it leads them into hearing real orchestra pieces. And the same with the jazz pieces, like actually hearing how to walk a bass line is sometimes much harder than doing a bass solo and stuff like that. And so these videos have been awesome, because we're going to play the one for Sandor. All of them for this year were done by Sandor, and then all of the jazz ones were done by Hans. And then last year we had Ted do them. And so it's really wonderful to see all these other people's faces doing these excerpts and their tips into them. I'm just going to play a little bit of them, of Sandor's, because what he did was great. So can we play it? Can you play it from the 108, Mark? Did I get that in the notes?
Yes.
Okay. This is fantastic.
In this case, the funeral's for the hunter, and the mourners are the woodland creatures. Please note, I have about 4 different ways I play this solo, sometimes starting up bow, sometimes down bow, and with a few different fingering combinations. Take the time to find what works really well for you. And finally, don't forget the mute. Mahler said, "Everything has to sound deadened and muffled, as if ghosts were parading past us." So the mute is an integral part of the tone color and effect of this solo. I've had fun for myself and with my students playing with different mutes to identify our favorite ghostly tone color.
Hey, all you bass people out there.
So that was really fantastic, because obviously the Mahler is a very simple piece, and we get to show that with in George's book too. And it's what I would call a gateway from playing the melody, so they could develop their sound and their sense of thing into a complex thing like orchestra structure or complex jazz walking. Not the easiest leap to do, and I think that's really fantastic information to do, and also to encourage them to do that, because the only downside aspect of having somebody who just only wants to play solo at a young age is that they're not playing with other musicians. They're only playing by themselves, which happens in other instruments like the piano. I know some very wonderful pianists. And the best part about the bass is playing with other people. And if we're making these amazing human beings, they're also interacting with all those other instruments. And that's a very powerful wave. And I think that's important. So the videos up on the website, obviously there's so many kids out there that aren't going to be able to come to the workshop. They're somewhere where they're just in a remote area that they don't even have a bass teacher there. Obviously the internet's wonderful, and these little videos are really, really great. I just started doing them because every year my students would go to the district and state, which is usually high school era. But I've been finding since I've put these up that even the middle school kids start to get a little bit more into figuring out how to walk a bass line or play in the orchestra, and that's really helpful, I think, to make that leap. And then I wanted to play a little bit of my little podcast thing. Can you play that one for me, Hans?
This is the Jamming with Johnny.
Yeah, this one's really quick because I think it's just good to see. I'm Johnny Hamil, and welcome to Jammin' with Johnny at KCBASS Stream. I have a unique way of life as a bass player and music educator. I felt like having a podcast long overdue. I'll talk shop with all my creative friends and shine light on things happening in KC. So that part's just the introduction, but you can go up there. Now I have 11 episodes posted. They took a lot of work, but I'm looking back at them, and my whole thing of looking at that is I interviewed students and also interviewed with Lloyd, Hans, and I would love to interview all of you that's on this thing for sure, because it's again, I'm thinking of the youngest kids. You know, they can watch an episode and, you know, really, like, I find a lot of my kids, since the episode's been up for 2+ years or something, some of them, that they actually watch the ones with the kids more than the professionals. The professionals are great. But like this meeting itself, the reason why it's recorded is because I think sometimes they hear the interchange between me and the student, and it's really fantastic, and they connect with it and they start to understand, and that's what really happens at the workshop when they just have a conversation with Francois in the master class, sometimes not about the actual piece or playing the bass, about something else, to be an artist, to be creative, or any of us. And so some of that is just wrapped up inside of that podcast and I find it's powerful because it can go a long way, because, you know, there's no time limit on when those can be taken down, because it's, again, the younger the kid, the more interesting it is, I think, for the interview for them, because then they can see something. And of course, with me, a lot of them are my students, so they already know who I am and what I'm about. So it's not just a stranger. So thank you for playing those couple things. I have the future ideas, many ideas of what I want to do, but I felt like these ones were the most concrete and more important, just to show you guys where we're going, and where my mindset is. So some of you have just logged on and haven't even been part of the workshop for many years because your students all grown up, or I mean your child's all grown up, or you're running your own workshop and stuff like that. All that's fantastic, and if you could take any of these ideas and help form what you're doing, I feel like my biggest purpose for the next 10, 15 years, hopefully longer, is to have a great model of that you can have a great career as an independent musician teacher and run your own workshop. And if I do my job right, which is why I'm talking to you about boring stuff like grants, I mean, they're not boring when I think of the bigger picture of having something for the future. So that's fantastic. I have one more topic, and it's really exciting to think of this. And we've talked to Francois about this. And one of the aspects about George's books is that the recording that comes along with it is becoming a little bit dated medium, which means that when I give it to the kid, yes, they'll play along with it, but they sometimes just go to YouTube, the internet, and play along with some student playing the same piece because it's, you know, Old French Song or Sakura. And that's fantastic because it's a little bit different. But we all know that the reason why George went through the process of getting Francois to record it is because it was a very, amazing work of art. I remember George's face when he said, "You should hear Francois play Twinkle." He couldn't even decide which one to put on there. He played it, so he put on both. He put both on the album, so you can hear both interpretations of Twinkle. That's something amazing. With the art of the bow, we can see Francois's arm, and even though it's important, George's books allows Leon to watch Francois's bow arm, to play the 5 rhythms, and how relaxed it is. So I've been working towards getting Francois to re-record the records, but on video, so we can have the videos of his bow arm to access that younger generation into his playing. So I've worked on getting at least seed money. We still haven't figured out exactly how much it would cost, but I have $5,000 to put down to the beginning of that process, and then we can proceed from there. Galen and Martha, we've been working with Carl Fisher to make sure that we have the rights to do all that stuff without the Carl Fisher thing. So I'm just because you guys are all, there's a lot of you from the George Vance camp. If you know of any, maybe somebody can match the fund, or we can raise the same amount. We'll have to see how much it would eventually cost to do that. But that's on my agenda, and I put it at the end of that because that idea of the future, we have to think of that. We have to think of how to move towards that, and having Francois, you have all of your books and everything. You've been organizing and working hard with Sylvain to organize it. And we need that to be there, so that way people have more access to it on the internet, meaning kids from all over the globe, not just Kansas City. And it's also something close to my heart, which is it's a more level playing field for economic structures. So it's nice. That's all I have to talk about. Hans has some exciting new thing to show us, and then we can have a little bit of open discussion if we like. Hans?
So speaking about grants and speaking about the future, I mean, one of the concerns with the art of the bow and the art of the left hand is that they're DVDs. And although they still occasionally sell, it's far and few between. So I wrote and got a grant to work on transferring the footage from the DVDs into a streaming format. There are issues with this. The art of the bow was recorded, a lot of that material was recorded back in 2003. And so what was possible then and what's possible now they're like light years away. The other problem is none of those hard drives where the original footage was stored will boot up. They're all gone. So we had to take the DVDs. Fortunately, Randy Allen, my brother-in-law, who was the two of us worked together to create these DVDs, he discovered this new software. I highly recommend it if you're into video editing. It's called Topaz, and it's supported by AI. So anyway, we were able to get some of this footage. One of the issues that we had, of course, with the DVDs for the art of the bow was that we had the user selectable camera angle. And this was kind of magic, where you had the remote control and you could change the angle that you were watching Francois as you were watching him. Now, of course, it was a little better than an 8-track tape for those of you that are a certain age. There was a lag, but how do we do this in streaming? And we were starting to put the angles one at a time out there. And Randy said to me, who's going to sit there and watch 12 angles one after another of the same thing? So one evening after another glass of wine and trying to get through this, he came up with a solution. So again, this is streaming from my computer. This is footage. It's in the process. We're working on the colorization. We're working on AI enhancements to try to get it better than it was. But we divided. Randy came up with this way to divide the screen, so you can see four angles at the same time. So anyway, I share this with you, and I mean, again, bear with the audio video discrepancy, but at least maybe you have an idea.
Uh-oh.
She is not anymore round, oval. Son premier, fort. Piano. Pianissimo. Piano forte. Piano. For register. Versatile.
It's good. It's a good idea. It's a very good idea to have all of the same times. In the video here, we don't have the synchronization, but in real it will be good. No, it's very good idea, Hansi. I think it's the future. Like that, at least I going to die in giving this gift to all the bass players, and I am proud of that. I was always thinking, I passed how many time with you and how many time to write the method, and I say why I am doing all this. Nobody can pay that, but I found out that many bass players have a good time, and many bass players say you saved my life, and this is the best gift that I forgot all the pain of at the time that I write it. Just when I hear that, my heart goes boom. But I am proud. I am proud to be part of this new generation. The level of the bass now, it's so high. It's higher than all the instrument, the cello and violin, because we are. It give hope to be part of. It's bass now. It's noble. That is, I swear.
Yeah.
Oh, I love all the bass player, and I love you, public. Help us, give us the possibility to realize all this kind of that. Voilà. Yes.
Well, that's perfect way to in this meeting, because it doesn't have to go long for all of us to understand the point of why I asked guys here today. But the other aspect of it is that it's Christmas time, and I love all of you people, and so we can officially say we're ending the message or this meeting, and you guys can stay on here and we can chat, because I don't have to teach till 12:30. So thank you for coming, and thanks Hans for being my DJ, and thank you Francois for all of what you've done, and that obviously goes towards.
And I wish everybody Happy New Year's and a Christmas and especially bass player, just have a fun on playing. Don't study, play and have fun.
Yes, that's perfect. I'm gonna stop recording and then you guys can talk because I know if anyone needs to go, they can go.